let's switch gears real quick because I think people are switching gears, okay? I've noticed this over the past, and I was talking to Matt about this pre-show, right?
Okay.
People are switching gears. All this talk about Malik Willis has started again, right? And then people have brought that name up or whatever.
Mock drafts will do that.
Yeah, but I do think that, all right, as soon as the Steelers season's over, people they wallow in it. They're, oh, I can't believe it's over. They lost to Kansas City, got their brains beat in. That lasted like a day, 48 hours. Then it turned to, all right, Ben, he's gone. Let's celebrate Ben. That was great. That lasted a couple other. Then it's like, okay, when's the draft? And then as soon as that happened, and it was like, let's talk about the draft. It was quarterback. Steelers need a quarterback. Where's a quarterback? What quarterback are they going to get? Are they going to trade up? Kenny Pickett, man, hand size. He'll be okay, though, still. Willis, what about Willis? He's intriguing, and I don't know. Matt Corral could be there. It was all quarterback. As we get closer, I think people have said, let me take a deep breath here. Okay, as I really survey the scene, and I could be all wrong, but people, to me at least, this is the impression I get from the general masses here, that people have said, okay, like I came out blazing about a quarterback. But now that I've really thought about this, it might be in their best interest to honestly get a lineman and put off the quarterback situation. Now that I've had a long think, I've taken in the thoughts of all these people on the radio and on television and the stuff that I've read. I feel like the tide is turning on these hardo, I need a quarterback people.
Can I tell you what I think is happening?
Tell me.
It's the wave of the end of season sort of draft prospect waves that we get. So we get the Senior Bowl wave, right? And people maybe they don't sit down and watch the entire Senior Bowl. Maybe they only watch a few plays. Maybe they don't watch any of it, but they read what the quote-unquote experts think, right? The people that were there. And they take in all that, and immediately they revert back to what's the easiest thing to analyze and what's the biggest thing the Steelers need? Well, it's a quarterback. So we'll talk quarterback. And it slowly fades off of people's radar as you work your way through that cycle. And we'll have 2 more weeks before there's any other footage or workouts or anybody who may get drafted on a field in front of evaluators. And then the combine will hit in the first week of March. And then it'll ramp back up because everyone will watch quarterbacks do things. Everyone will start to talk about how those quarterbacks looked doing those things. And it'll flood everybody again with, did you see that quarterback? What do you think about that quarterback? Oh, this quarterback did that. Oh, his hands were this size. This guy did that. And we'll be right back up on the crest of the hill as we ride the roller coaster, and we'll talk quarterbacks again. And then a couple of weeks after the combine, free agency will hit, and we'll be talking about, well, how you plug this hole, that hole. The quarterback talk will fade away again. And then right before the draft, maybe like 10 days, 14 days out from the draft, the reports will start to come in. This is the pro day, and this guy's measurements here, and it'll ramp back up again, leading right into the draft. It's just we're riding the cycle right now, I think is what it is.
I definitely do think there's part of that, too. But even if a quarterback goes out there, okay, let's say this. A quarterback goes out there at the combine and wows and is lights out. It is incredible. I wonder if people then, by your logic, they say, you got to get one of these. Man, did you see him in Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Holy heck! They got to get him. If Malik Willis goes out there and he's great, and then will it then turn into, well, he ain't going to be there anyway for the Steelers at 20,
and then after a couple of weeks, it'll cycle out again because again, the easiest thing to evaluate is the quarterback play, or the most forefront thing to evaluate. That's what everybody's going to be all over is the quarterback play, especially here in Pittsburgh because, well, the Steelers need a quarterback, right? So that's what it'll be for a week or maybe 2, the week following the combine as well. And then we'll start to slowly sift into, well, what this linebacker, he did really good things. And this offensive lineman, did you see, he bench pressed like 28 times. And we'll start to talk about that again. And like I said, immediately, you'll have pro days that kind of cycle in as well. And immediately before the draft, all the talk about quarterbacks, that'll get ramped back up again. It's because it's the position in the NFL, and it happens to be one that the Steelers need to fill.
This is why I'm comfortable in that I've never wavered on this. I've never wavered on going to the quarterback. I've never I've wavered on, is it a defensive lineman? Is it an offensive lineman? Is it an inside backer? Is it maybe a corner even? And I like the corner a lot from Florida. Elam, a whole lot. But I've never gone quarterback. I've never gone there. And I just think there's far too many people infatuated with the position and looking at it positionally and not player specific.
Yeah, it's why I've kind of just tried to look at the old, it's boring, I know, and it's cliched, especially for the Steelers, but the old best available player route. And what's going to be the best value when the 20th pick overall comes around in the first round on that Thursday night in the last week of April? And does it make sense to take a quarterback there because everything else that you liked is off the board? Are you taking the quarterback just because you feel like you need to take a quarterback, or are you actually taking the guy that you think is the best possible value on the board at that point?
Matt, you're the one that's the first line of defense with the phone lines. You check the text line a lot. I know we do as well. And you get all the stuff, the correspondence that's come in. Is it accurate to say that you think that there has been a changing tide with positionally what the fans want?
I think so. Every time a quarterback is brought up that's linked to the Steelers, like yesterday with Todd McShay linking Malik Willis and even trading up for Malik Willis, which I thought was pretty crazy.
I don't think.
People reacted as like, no way, don't do it. Don't fall into the trap. I've seen a lot more of that over the last couple of weeks than I did previous to
But
this.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen when the Combine comes around the first week of March.
I'm sure.
Someone, whether it's Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral, whoever it is, it will get talked about that somebody had a really good Combine, and there will be people who come back onto maybe that's the guy if they can get him.
People are out of their minds. If I was Pitt, I wouldn't trade up for Malik Willis, let alone if I were the Steelers trading up for Malik Willis.
I wouldn't trade up for any quarterback in this draft. If one falls to you at a position and there's nothing else available that you feel is, like I said, has the value at 20th overall, maybe. But I'd be more than likely to try and trade back at that point and, grab some more picks.
I don't know what Todd McShay's talking about. That's just
maybe we're all fools, and the people that think the Steelers are in love with Malik Willis and going to trade up and do this and that are the ones that are right. But I'm more inclined to believe they're just going to sit there and take and maybe it's because it's what I'm hoping they do, take the best available player.
I hate
at 20.
to put it in these terms, and it's too simplistic, and all the stats people come out and hammer me, and the people say, this guy and this guy. If Malik Willis was so damn good, he wouldn't be at Liberty. I hate for it to be that simple. If he was that good, he'd be at Auburn, and he'd be the quarterback there. Still. What was he going to go to Liberty and progress?
he's going to get to go play the position that he thought he was best suited for. They didn't want him to play quarterback at Auburn.
I honestly feel that way, and I know that is being big school bias or whatever. But no, he ain't the guy. He's just not the guy. And the Steelers they're not going to take Malik Willis.
Well, I'll say I honestly don't know if he's the guy or not. I think he's got a lot of traits that are great. I also question how long it will take to refine those traits into being NFL ready. But I don't know. I don't see them trading up. I just don't see that happening.
Mike